So the KC Cup is beginning soon, and the new box actually changed the meta quite a bit already. It brought up three interesting decks in the face of Tenyi, BLS, and Tune. Um, and me, a player that hasn't tested these decks, except from one, will try and give you his opinion that will most likely be wrong, but for fun reasons, let's do it already. So, a KC Cup tier list. This is a tier list about which decks are good, which decks are bad, you know the drill. Okay, Tune. Tune is not good. That's what I've seen. It can sack. There may be something hidden with Tune. For now, it's a tier 3. It's not bad. Armed Dragon. Armed Dragon is... I haven't played this deck at all. I don't know if it's good or not. Ryosuke in Worlds format was like, this deck can beat anything except Speed Raid, and it auto loses to Speed Raid. But Speed Raid doesn't exist anymore. Like, the nerfs were too great. And where would I place Armed Dragon? I don't even know if it's worse than Tunes, honestly, because I don't really have a lot of testing with both these decks. So I think Armed Dragons are okay. I think they're a bit better because they have the sack potential with Dark Armed Dragon. You need to have responses. They have a busted skill. I mean, Tunes also do. They're both like fast decks, but I think Armed Dragons are better going first. Destiny Hero. This is a tier 1 deck. Spoilers that I don't think there is a tier 0 deck. And Destiny Hero is a good deck. I feel like it's the best deck when it goes first and opens one monster, which is Celestial and 3 back row. And it's also like a deck that you don't really need to get lucky. Like, even if you don't draw that hand, you can like still end on the Link to Dystopia 2 sets. And sometimes Dystopia with 1 set may be enough. But yeah, that's not like an optimal hand. What this deck struggles is if it doesn't see Celestial, because then its follow-up is terrible. I mean, overall, all of the main deck is bad. But the fact that you can like play 15 traps kind of fixes the deck alongside having the skill. I think people will play the Dystopia build. I don't think we're gonna see a lot of Beatrice stuff. Dark Angel is surprisingly funny against Tenyi because it gives them a monster, but I don't think that's the good. Because you can just play Linguribo and counter the Dark Angel. I mean, theoretically, we said the same thing about Ibli, but it's completely different. You can trust me on that. Next, we have Fossils. I don't think that deck's good. It's a bad deck. Crusadia. Crusadia is another sack deck. I think it's worse than Armed Dragon, honestly. I don't know if it's better than Tunes, but it's another sack deck. But it's tougher for it to sack because it needs to open the 2 monsters. It needs to open answers to back row and monster removal. It basically needs a lot of stuff. And its turn 1 is okay. It's good actually, like 3 effects. And have like tons of life points with Equimax. But that's it. Gandora Orcus, that's a tier 2 deck in my eyes. I think this deck is better than all of these decks here. I think it's good. Its issues lie on when you don't open a gold or a silver gadget with a machine. But even these hands are tolerable. The only issue the deck has is it's bad at Odd Eyes matchup, but that's a reality for almost every deck at the moment because Odd Eyes is kind of insane. Ursarctic Synchron, that deck is rogue. I don't think that deck's good. Infinitrack, it's a weird deck. It's a 1-card combo deck, but Destiny Hero is a 1-card combo deck and it's better in every way. There's no reason to play this deck. Is it better than Ursarctic? Maybe not. I think it is. Like, it's somewhere here. The new Utopia deck, I haven't played this deck at all. I don't know where to place this. So, I'm gonna make this a do not know at all. I haven't played this deck. I haven't seen it in a duel. I don't know what it does. I'm just gonna put it here. If somebody in the comments knows, please tell me if this deck is good or not, because I have literally no idea. Gimmick Puppet is a tier 3 towards Rogue deck. It's worse than Infinite Track. It's somewhere here. Then we have Odd Eyes. I assume this includes all the builds. This is a tier 1 deck, and the Magistus build and the Pure Xyz build I think are the best. The Orcust build, I would put it at tier 2 because it's more inconsistent, unlike what Aaron says on DLM. Like, you have one Pencolin saying that the deck is more consistent because you don't play Bubble, then we wouldn't play Bubble in the first place. That's a very incorrect statement. And Odd Eyes Magistus and the Pure Odd Eyes deck, or the Almano Odd Eyes deck, I think they're all tier 1. They're all extremely strong. The Magistus is the one with the highest ceiling in my opinion. The Xyz one is the most consistent. I feel like the Magistus is the one closer to a KC Cup format success. But I could be extremely wrong because it's a variant that everyone waits. And its turn on board may be broken, but there are decks that can break it with Engine. Pure Orcust is a tier 3 deck. I mean, at this point I think Pure Orcust is worse than Armed Dragon and Crusadia. Like, I think these two, do I think that, Orcust as an engine is here, but Orcust as a deck is somewhere here and here. The Pure Orcust deck is tier 3 at best, and I think it's somewhere here. Somebody may try and break this. It's a deck that if you go first, you are most likely not going to lose that game. The problem is going second is extremely tough. You can't do anything. So I don't know if it's even better than these decks. It has a higher ceiling than all of them, but I don't know. Bottom of tier 3, and I think I'm being generous. Resonator, this deck is garbage. Not here actually. I think it's somewhere here. I think this deck is terrible. You need to be extremely lucky with this. You play the hero at this point. It's Resonator, but better in every way. Rocket is a tier 2.5 deck. It's a tier 2.5 deck. It's gonna be the last tier 2 deck. I think it's closer to the tier 2 than to the tier 3. Tennis, I have played this deck. I actually have played this deck. And don't get me wrong, I think this deck is very good. I think it's here. And the only reason why it's not here is because this exists. This deck shits on Destiny Hero. It shits on Trickstar. It shits on Rocket. I don't know its BLS matchup in all honesty. It's a coin flip with Gandora from what I've understood. I haven't really played this matchup. If somebody in the comments knows this matchup, please tell me. That's it. I think this deck is really good, but the problem is Odd Eyes, because if you go first with the 3 effects, Odd Eyes can just kill you very easily with a Trishula play. I mean, they can have like an access to Trishula plus 2 monsters, because in typical Odd Eyes fashion, they can have anything they want. And that's it. The go-to tech seems to be Lance for this KC Cup, if you see, like, especially if you play Tenyi. Good in the mirror, stops OTK against Odd Eyes, good against Destiny Hero. It's good also against Gandora, very good. And it's not good against these things. Even though I think that if you use Lancia, the opponent cannot activate Toon Kingdom. If somebody in the comments knows about that ruling, please tell me. Trickstars. Trickstar is better than Rockets, but it's not that good. These two decks are not that good. They are back row decks that I think that Tenyi existing completely brought them another bad matchup. And the only thing that saves you against Tenyi is if you draw Ice Dragon's Prison or even Lancia. And even Lancia sometimes may not be enough. That's the problem. These decks sucks now at the moment. I mean, they're better than these decks, but that's it. And BLS, I haven't played this deck, so I would normally put it here. People tell me this deck's cracked. They tell me it's somewhere here. I'm gonna place it here because I don't know it, and the skill is odd dice levels of busted. So somebody could discover something, keep it hid, and he may have kept it hidden, and the deck may end up being here, for example. I don't know how good this deck is. I haven't played it, so at the moment, from what I've heard, it's somewhere here. Somewhere here. But I'm gonna place it here. Somebody may have the goo. And overall, that's my tier list. About another deck that I would include here, but because I would include more decks, that is Salamangreat. Salamangreat, I think, is a rogue towards tier 3 deck. I think it's better than all of these decks right now, but all of the tier 3 decks, but it has some issues, and issues being that your turn one sometimes may not be enough because you want to survive plus have the follow-up. Sometimes you're going to get hit by IDP, which is insane against Destiny Hero, Tenyi, Gandora, Rocket, Arm Dragons. It's terrible against Crusadia and bad against Tunes, by the way. And it's also not good against all dice, but you can use this to your knowledge. This feels like a KC Cup where IDP will be good. So Salamangreat players will struggle to get some wins because they're just going to get hit by IDP and they're going to have to scoop. But overall, that's my tier list. Tell me down in the comments, what do you think about my tier list? What changes would you make? Have a nice day, everybody.